if I got 5x5 out here in these streets once again, trying to catch up with you peeps, see what's going on. Didn't want to wait till Monday. Seems like, yeah, we get kind of busy. Probably be till Monday till I check in if I didn't do it now. So we're going to do a live from the road here. What you got going on there? See if we can hold this together for a bit. See if anybody checks in. Winter has arrived once again in the high desert. Not exact, definitely spring-like weather, but a little chilly. May get some snow this weekend, which is always welcomed, but definitely some moisture, which is also welcomed. So that is what it is, right? It was funny. Somebody checked in. Hopefully you can hear me. Somebody give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. All right. But somebody who was that talking, I think it was Prepared Homestead. Somebody was complaining to him about always talking about the weather. Like, if you think you're into prepping and the preparedness mission and you're not thinking about the weather, you're not prepping, because it affects you every single hour of the day in some way, form, or fashion, right? So, don't get caught slipping on the weather. You want to stay agile and aware of what's going down, even when it's not, threatening weather. You want to know if you're going to get wet weather, or to, go out and work in your garden, or you're going to need to water more, or whatever the case might be. And whatever you're doing, that, hey, if I need to do something because the weather's good or bad or whatever. That's my 10 cents on that. But I hope everybody had a good week, whether or not you're getting winter weather or not. But we need, hopefully this will probably be a good April. That's what we're really hoping for, to get that moisture locked in, the moisture content locked in the ground, and start us for a good spring plant, right? That's the hope. What is going on this week? More Doge business? Is that pretty much what everybody's hearing? Lots of Doge, lots of that business, restructuring of the government, which ultimately, we talked the slow burn years ago about how the slow burn works, and that the slowly but surely things are just slowly destructed. Like, we're going through the slow bankruptcy of America. That's my 10 cents. That's what's going on. What kind of rig is that? It's interesting. We're in the slow burn of the collapse, but the restructuring and bankruptcy of America is in full swing. What they call that, receivership, when things are in that condition. And Trump's just being put in charge of it. I mean, it was going to happen. They're just making him the organizer of the bankruptcy. It started under Nixon, kind of put us in receivership, and it's been 6 presidents since, and they've all done their part. And here we are. We will see. Some people have the theory that the gold revaluation is going to save America and save the currency and all this other stuff, and I am doubtful. Hey, what's up, Alicia? I can see it right there, because it's right there. It's right there in front of me. What do you mean, how can I drive and see? Don't you look out your mirror and windows when you're driving? Head on a swivel, always. Always keep that head on a swivel. So, I don't know what pops up, Alicia, I'll tell you. Good to see you, Alicia. You should be having some snow coming your way if we're getting snow. It's definitely cool enough. I think it's going to be like 3 degrees too warm to get snow here on the valley floor. There'll be snow up in Tahoe and in the mountains, so it's a good late or early spring snowfall. But the receivership and the bankruptcy, I think that's where we're going. The slow burn comment on the title there. I don't have any other way to explain it. That's the only way I can explain what's going on. Because, oh, goodness gracious, I didn't even look out my window. Whoops. So I hope everybody else is doing good, doing the things, planning accordingly. I was having a chat with someone. I'm like, do you buy gold or silver and gold? Like, what's your prep for this month? Because you kind of depends on what your outlook is, you know. The collapse of the currency is concerning, but the causes and effects it has makes you want to kind of double down on your food and guns and ammo storage too. Alicia, I think your comments are broken. I didn't comment it 3 times. You just commented it twice more. No, I think it's just you, Alicia. You're commenting again. We got a glitch in the YouTube system somehow. Typical. It happens. Maybe it's a bot. Maybe it's a bot mimicking you and replaying your comment. I don't know how that happens. It's kind of wild. See what else? Big earthquake. Everybody saw that this morning. Huge earthquake in what is called Myanmar. It used to be called Burma. The USGS still has it as listed as Burma, so I think there's some diplomatic fallout there with what the government calls it and what the official, I think it's a military junta that runs the country, calls it Myanmar, but we still recognize it as Burma, something like that. That was a pretty tremendously bad earthquake. They listed it as 7.7. It was collapsing buildings in Bangkok, which is quite a distance away when you look at the map, and there were some pretty severe rumblings as far north as in China. It's like, I don't know that was that small. It seemed like it was a little bit bigger than that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I saw from that. Definitely not a good event. I don't know there's some video. Well, actually, I should say, I haven't seen any video from inside Myanmar. It's all been from Bangkok and Thailand, and some from China. Like, what's actually going on in the country is probably 10 times worse. We talk about collapsed buildings and stuff like that. Prepare accordingly. One I put on the Twitter, there's tons of videos on Twitter if you want to get some more info, videos, stuff like that. Go check out the Twitter, just search earthquake Myanmar, whatever. But there was a video from Bangkok, from their Friday evening, whenever businesses closed. All the public transportation was shut down. There's limited number of taxis. Everybody was walking home. I found that interesting. Like, you don't have a means to get home, and I was surprised there weren't more bikes. I thought there'd be more bikes and motorcycles, but I guess everybody had those were already gone through the picture maybe. What's up, Barry Wood? How you doing out here on the West Coast? Do you guys get nervous when you see earthquakes that are in kind of the Ring of Fire region? Maybe hitting the West Coast as it makes the circle. There's people that do the predictive stuff, like if you just go around the Ring of Fire, like there's earthquakes that just kind of line up in a chain. People on the West Coast get a little nervous on that. But good to see you, Barry. But yeah, that earthquake, man, that's bad business. There's going to be a lot of recovery efforts going into that. It looks like the initial list was 140 killed, and I can't imagine it's anything less than 1,000 once they've gone as far away as Thailand and counted all the numbers. I can't imagine it being a smaller number. It looked pretty devastating. And I don't know if they're going to revise the actual strength of it at all. And I don't know if Alicia froze my chat, but Barry doesn't get nervous, right? That's weird. Alicia's comments stay. Oh, I pinned Alicia's comment. That's what it is. But that earthquake, man, that'll make you think. Oh, and look who pops in just in time. The Corsair Trainers. Contractor Steve did his video today about food planning for disasters or for the collapse, or I get more so for the collapse, because obviously in a regular disaster scenario, everything recovers. He talks about long-term food sustainability, which is, I meant to comment on that, Steve, and I got caught up after I watched it and forgot to go back. I'll have to go back just to give you the comment, but I'll tell you what I was going to comment here. 99% of people can't do sustainable farming. You know, I mean, you can do subsistence enough to survive, but not enough to thrive. I think, and Gray Note, as the artist formerly known as Gray Note, which I think is now known as Practical Rifleman. Everybody got the right channel? He said for a long time, to sustain a family, you need acres of plants, and, you know, planting and animals and such. And people are driving like crazy out here this time of the day. Goodness gracious. Somebody thinks they're Harry Gant. Shout out to the NASCAR reference for those that get it. Yeah, Steve, I like that. That was a good video, but it's definitely you know, you might be able to grow what you need to supplement for what you know, have to scrounge for otherwise, but being able to exist off of only on your property is, you know, 99% impossibility for most of us, you know. So that's where it comes into barter and trade and trading those skills for food or whatever the case may be. But you definitely do what you can with what you've got, you know. Like we've always said, even just having a tomato plant and I don't know, name your carrots, a carrot container garden on the back deck or your apartment balcony goes a long way when you really need them, you know. Especially something like carrots. Carrots grow like weeds. You put them in a container, you know, like tub container, you can grow those all, I mean, depending on where you're at, 8 or 9 months of the year. I guess if you brought them inside, you could probably grow them out 12 months out of the year if you went in and out. Something like that, potatoes. But it's only supplemental. It's only enough to help with what you get through what you need. But that's a good video, Steve. Hopefully people have gotten past the trying to store 2 years worth of food in their apartment or wherever they're at, because that's another impossibility. Like, who has that much storage? It's like trying to store silver versus gold. Like, who has that much room for that much silver? You can only store so much before it really, really, really gets in the way. So hopefully everybody is taking the lessons of the daily preparedness examples around you. They had the fires now in the South Carolina, North Carolina, from all the Hurricane Helene fallout. Basically, it's like all the trees that were died or blown down or damaged or otherwise, you know, to have dried out from that hurricane over the winter, and massive fires have broken out as kind of as a result. Now, what started them? I mean, there's a lot of them. So I don't know if a lightning storm went through, but it was pretty much the whole Hurricane Helene impacted area. And they just kind of all sprouted up at the same time. So it kind of seems like it'd be lightning strikes, but I haven't heard. I haven't been that close to the ground. Southern Prepper 1 did a few videos because he is really, really close to one of the worst fires at Table Rock, and he has some bad deals there. Another preparedness lesson of, you know, disasters begat disasters type thing. You know, like you can imagine this Myanmar earthquake thing is going to beget other human disasters, human-caused disasters, between refugee status, people needing clothing and shelter. I don't know if it's months. They're not in monsoon season, I don't think. Maybe they are. I don't think so. Depending on the weather pattern, you know, they can be drastically impacted by things like that. So, you know, there's another disaster could always follow secondary to whatever just happened. You talk about Palisades and what happened in Southern California, like you had to work really hard to avoid the looting disaster part of it and stuff like that, the human-caused issues. Yeah, pay attention to what is going on. Just like you pay attention to the weather, because that's part of preparedness. And if you're watching the preparedness channel, you should be aware of your weather. If you aren't thinking through, like, this is what the weather's like yesterday and this is what's going on tomorrow, like, Are you really prepared? You don't. You're not. You got in the mindset. In a standard patrol order, your what's called the weather light data is your part of your intel brief, because the weather light data affects your patrol just like anything else. Like I did that video. When was it? That morning when I drove that morning drive and I was trying to catch the sunrise. I didn't get my begin morning nautical twilight sunrise brief from my S2. You know, so it is what it is. But yeah, pay attention to your weather lights, all that other stuff, even when the hour changes. And people think they've got that extra hour of daylight, and you ain't got nothing extra. It just is what it is. The sun didn't change because the government told you to change your clock. I have a personal heartache with that business in particular. What's up, Curb C103? What's up? Are you close to the fire, C103? You're down in that neck of the woods, aren't you? I think you might be closer to the coast, though, so maybe you're further away. I'm trying. Palmetto Prepared's further. I'm not close to them, I don't think. I get you guys confused sometimes. All you Southerners are the same, just like everybody in Nevada's from Las Vegas. You know, I'm sure you guys get confused too. But yeah, I hope everybody's got a good weekend planned for doing the things. Like I said, I think I'm going to be too busy to check in at all or to do anything. So here I am out in these streets trying to get some things done before the weekend really kicks off. So there's some situations abound to learn lessons and get preparedness things from. You know, Saints had a big fire at his place. Is that right? I didn't hear about that. Are we talking about Saint or Saints and Sappers? See, there's others. Again, people confuse me. There are too many names that are alike. Speaking of names alike, the High Desert Tactical dropped a video. I don't know if you guys remember Trevor from way back in the old YouTube days, on the kind of the gun community side. He dropped a video, a random video. Was it this morning, I think? But old timer. And of course, we have similar names, so we kind of linked up. So you know, too many high deserts for the YouTube. Yeah, hopefully this earthquake. Well, I don't know. Pay attention to that earthquake thing. There's talks of volcanoes. There's in Alaska. There's talks of earthquakes in Japan. I think the story read, because when you start searching earthquakes, like the one in Myanmar, all this other recommended stuff comes up, right? So there's this story about the strongest earthquake, or no, the deepest earthquake in Japan's history. So how far deep it was in the earth is a signal of certain things. If you want to chase down that rabbit hole. Yeah, I guess there's a volcano outside of Anchorage to the west. Is it to the west? I want to say east, but that, I guess west would be the interior from Anchorage. But anyway, it's supposed to be acting up. So pay attention to that stuff. Yeah, it was Saints and Sappers, huh? Oh, almost got his shop. Is that right? Oh, I didn't hear about that. Dang. I wonder if he had to do fire suppression operations. If they got that close. Hopefully he was in action. Yeah, the tactical Arkansas Tony's been doing the things. He got some more chickens. Saw that. What else has been going on? What have y'all been doing? Where's Alicia? Where's your garden? I haven't seen you do no garden videos. Still waiting for that hugelkultur garden. Dad on YouTube flexed on his garden plot and then hasn't shown anything since of what he actually planted or anything. So still waiting on that. Get some comparison videos. So when I drop the ball, I'll know how, if I can catch up with him or not. Fire department showed up in his front yard. Is that right? That's a scary. That's probably an evening time thing too, probably, huh? You gotta bring it right to your front door, huh? That's not a good day. I don't know, maybe we'll see if we can get a video out. Maybe let's see if we can, I don't know, we'll see if we put something together for the Silver Sunday video, maybe, and see if we can talk about, if anybody's heard about this silver squeeze movement. So that this happened a couple years ago, and there's talk of it again. I'll do some commentary on that in a separate video, but obviously the gold and silver markets are quite edging their way up in comparison to dollars, and so you want to be wary of what the value of your dollar's worth, the debt cycle, and what what you're comparing with as far as the value of your dollar and what you're able to buy with it. I don't know how everybody else's grocery bills are doing, but they haven't exactly went down. I think I shared a picture of the Vienna Sausage Index. I don't know if I shared that picture, actually. I had been tracking 89 cents, and it went down to 85. So there was a cost reduction in the Vienna Sausage Index from 89 to 85. That was interesting. I don't know if I shared that or not. I think I took the picture and forgot to share it. I found that interesting. Like, I was expecting them to push it to $1, just outright. Yeah, the whole East Coast, the burn area of that falling in that fire area has been pretty bad. Definitely concerning, I guess you'd say. I'll have to ask him what's up. Why didn't he give us the intel, the down low on the potential fire operations? Price of gold you're holding? Yeah, that's went quite a bit. That's good if you, I mean, think about it. In my lifetime, the price of gold has went from $40 to over $3,000. That's insane. But the dollar is just basically the opposite. That's all it is. People, we've got it so much in our mind. Like I said in that one, it's been a couple of years ago I did that video. Just, we don't understand money. We just don't have. We don't think about it in the right way. We don't think about money in the right way, and the value of currency and commodities and stuff. Like, we're all warped because the dollar is made up, and it's dictated by the bank. The bank dictates the value of it based upon interest rates and everything. It's like we don't conceptually think of it in a proper way at all, and that's what they've been relying on for a long time. He sold a large party and dumped all of it into gold. Okay. I was thinking about doing the opposite. If I could get a good property and change the metals in for property, like, that would be the way I would go. But I guess depending on maintenance and what you actually get out of it, it kind of I mean, if you're selling at the top of the market, that makes sense. Especially if it was a few years back. I mean, if you bought gold anytime previously to a year ago, you are doing large. Like, you've had a significant return, like 30% or more. Because I think this time last year gold was hovering right around 2,100. So you've got basically almost a third gain, 30% gain. What's up, Bikes and Bullets? Good evening. And who thought I was going to check out here? That's a good solid. I mean, that's one of those things. Changing property for property, right? Shifting that value. I've been sharing the value of coffee on the Twitter, price of coffee. So the comparison here is, I didn't have this idea. This was some other financial person shared this, months ago, showing that the price of coffee in 1976, I believe, started its upward climb towards 1980. And so in that upward climb, gold kind of followed coffee as a commodity value. And it's like, it's happening again. Coffee is at its all-time high. When you look at the chart, and I shared that on Twitter, just like, it's happening again. It's like, and it's not exactly repeating, but it's definitely rhyming. It's definitely doing the same thing like late 1970s. When you think of stagflation, inflation, and all those key things that happened, it's definitely happening again in the same, very, very similar way. Hey, what's up, Mr. Lock and Load? What's good? And Bikes and Bullets, Friday live. Oh, I haven't done a live in forever, Bikes. That's probably why. I mean, when was the last time? I haven't done a live in a minute. And I only did this one because I don't think I'll be able to do anything this weekend to really catch up on the goings on. In particular, I want to talk about that earthquake in Burma, Myanmar, depending on who your political affiliation, right? Lots of lessons learned to be taken out of that if you pay attention to it and follow it and see how it goes down. Especially if you compare it to displaced people and refugee statuses and see how that goes. The homestead is coming along, says Bikes. Yeah, I saw the last video. I saw you had you had the driveway coming in. You had that all cleared out and graveled, and I think you had well, Tony was talking about his home building pad, and I think you had yours cleared out, but he doesn't have his cleared out. I'll have to, maybe I've missed something, Bikes. I've always caught your videos of you messing around in the Jeep and that little off-road vehicle you got. I can't remember what you call it. The Algo or whatever. The Algorithm. But hope everybody, continue to do the things. Definitely go check out Steve's video on the food storage, preparing to do food sustainment, transition to that. Argo. There we go, the Argo. Algo, Algorithm, Argo, whatever. Yeah, it's an interesting time. You know, we're through the, I guess what you'd call the first quarter of 2025, and it's already ran the gamut of chaos and of all the things that you didn't know were going to happen. From big events, natural disasters, to the political scene and the economy. And I continue to focus on the economic slow burn. That's where I think the real attention is. Pay attention to the bankruptcy of America and how everything is downsized and restructured. Just like when a company goes into bankruptcy, it's all downsized, restructured, and assets sold off, and stuff like that. Bike says, I believe we will indeed see 3,500 gold and 40 silver this year. Bikes, I think 40 silver is probably conservative. 3,500 gold's probably, we're at 3,100 right now. Again, we're in the first quarter. And how far away is 3,500? That is 400. That's less than 20%, right? Is my math mathin'? I can't give. If my math is mathin' right, that's less than a 20% the rest of the year. I don't see why it wouldn't. I think I said last year that I thought gold would be at 5,000 by 2030, and that might be conservative based upon the nature of debt and everything, and the rope-a-dope that's going on, where everybody's keeping their, hey, look over there at all the digital stuff, pay attention to all this digital stuff, make sure you buy Nvidia. Whereas what are the banks doing? What are the people that claim to know what money is and like money? What are they doing? They're buying gold. That's why it's going crazy. You and me buying gold or silver for that matter aren't driving that price anywhere. It's the banks and the big people. That's who's driving the price, because they're trying to get real assets. You can only buy so much property or so much stuff that you can hold on to for a reasonable amount of time and sustain it, right? So they're buying things that you can actually store away for a long period of time, which is real money, which is why it's money, because you can store it away for a long time and it still be there and it's durable, and et cetera, right? Makes the head hurt to think about it. But yeah, I think you're right, Bikes. I think definitely a solid prediction, if not conservative. Liberty Breeds is here. What's going on? Liberty Bleeds Silver. Why do you feel like you're being restructured? Yeah, the whole country, you mean, or just you individually? Yeah. The big squeeze. Yeah, I might do a video this weekend. I might try to put something together tonight or tomorrow night if I get time, just on the silver situation for Monday, because it's again, we don't have an effect. It would take so many millions of us to go out and buy to have any effect that you would notice within, say, a week or two, that it would be noticeable, like people in lines waiting and stuff. If it's just us doing our thing, like, and maybe people buy a little extra, it's going to take months to see that effect, because we're not the ones that drive any of the prices, you know. That's the way I look at it. But I'm going to get out of here, YouTube. It's 30 minutes. That's enough. Check out the disaster in your area. There's something happening near you, probably. If it's not the fires or the earthquakes or the tsunami. I haven't heard of no tsunamis, but you never know. And be good. Pray hard for those people over in the Southeast Asia section, and the American Southeast for that matter, because I don't know if those fires are under control. Southern Prepper 1, I didn't see any like real sense of containment from the videos I saw last night. So pray for those people, and prep hard, live free. How'd I get out of here?